Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Tuesday afternoon, December 8th. We're looking at the market profile of the SPY ETF here on Window Trader. And standing ovation for not just the ES and the SPY, but every other index as all the major indices hit all-time highs today. The Dow, the transports, the Russell, the NASDAQ, and the S&P. What's incredibly more impressive is they have outside day ups in at least the Russell, QQQ, and the SPY. We'll go over the Russell first. They had an opening drive. They gapped lower today. The Russell gapped lower today. Had an opening drive and didn't stop one time framing up till K period. They go out with a trend day, 2 sets of single prints, and a price probe, and an outside day up at the all-time high. Impressive. QQQs open inside yesterday's range, took out yesterday's low. They were the laggard of the group. They waited until H period to take out the high and rip higher. They end up with a double distribution day. Here's your single prints. Lower distribution upper and an outside day up. Incredibly impressive. And then the SPY. We didn't gap lower. Looked like we might early. We opened at the lower end of yesterday. Took out yesterday's low by pennies, but we did. That's an inside day down. And then, boy, did they give a head fake and B. Because once we took out A's high and one time framed up, they reversed, came down. I was set to pull the trigger. If we got below that opening, here's why I was ready to do that. Here's yesterday. Inside day. Here's the overnight. All short. So what I thought was basically an opening drive, but you have to put it into context. And I thought this opening drive is just all this covering. Once we got back inside M's range, figured all that is short covering, and B continued it. When B came down the way it did, I thought, wow, all we did in A and part of B was cover the shorts, and now if we take out the opening, we'll have an inside day down, and we can probably get something going to this low, this weak reference point. Well, thank goodness they didn't do that, because I would have gotten on board short. I did not. And you see the results. As we go out with 2 sets of single prints, we had 5 at one time or another throughout the day. We did definitely get a little tired up here as we traded 3.5 hours over here and ended 7 wide. But we do have, I guess you can call it either a double or triple distribution day. We have singles and C's. We have singles and D's. So you can call this one distribution. Here's your second distribution, the singles in D up to say G's low. And then here is the upper. Inside day down failed. Inside day up did beautifully. Outside day up holds also in the SPY. Now, there's one huge negative to all this cheer, and that's the volume. Now, it doesn't matter in the day time frame. It doesn't matter in the short term, right? Throw all the confetti around all you want. But in the bigger picture, in the longer term, you want to see other time frames get involved, and the longer, stickier money getting involved on the long side to make this sustainable. Yeah, we can get to 400. We can get to wherever we want. But in the bigger picture, you want the longer term money coming in to start supporting this move to the upside. Or at some point, these weak longs, give it up. That's something that has to be on the table as we go forward. Now, I didn't trade much at all. I had a horrible afternoon yesterday. This type of day is not conducive to me. This slow grind. I had a discussion in the room. Well, why didn't you get long? It was easy to be long with one time framing up. And yeah, in the bigger picture and looking at it, yes, it is. I did want to get long. In fact, I had a long set up in C period, right around, not C period, I apologize. E. When E was coming down, I wanted to get long right around yesterday's POC again. Had a bid in, Didn't get, look, I like my entries. If I don't get my entries, I don't mind watching. I've been trading for 37 years. You think I care if I miss a time frame or a day? If I don't get what I want? So initially, I wanted to see if A, B, C were going to be the same as yesterday, right? Look what yesterday did. We got nothing out of it, and then they flushed it. Well, I was waiting to see if we were going to get the same thing. Well, we didn't. We had single prints in C. So when D went up and then E started, I'm like, okay, fine. I want to get long. Didn't get to where my bid was. It went without me. And that's fine. So I took a couple of small trades, not even worth going over, made pennies on the day. And again, I don't mind. It's what I know who I am. And if I'm not comfortable as we continue to make new highs going long, well, then I won't. The big thing I didn't do, and the big thing I kept the room out of, was shorting this move. At least until we got what I like to say is two-sided trade. Once you got here and did this, well, then you could have been long in any time frames low and shorting any time frames high, and you made some money in there. But the range was very, very tight, and so I just didn't do anything for the most part. So the room is to educate and inform, not to piggyback, not to say not to go long. Just because I'm not going long here doesn't mean the room shouldn't be long. In fact, I told the room as we were going up here in C, D, E, F, G, long or wrong. Kept a lot of people out of trouble from shorting this. But if it didn't get to where I was comfortable being long, I didn't take it. So be it. All right, let's go over destinations for tomorrow. Well, the upside has one and only one, folks. And that's today's high of 370.78, our new all-time high. Then on the downside, I'm using J as the afternoon pullback low of 369.90. Then we have two sets of single prints. They start at E's low of 369.32, get filled at 04, which is C's high. And the second set starts at D's low, 369, and they get filled at B's high of 368.79. Then we have today's low of 367.67, and then 367.22, the daily low from here, and then 365.50 daily low and 365.49, the afternoon pullback low, which is still a weak low. Now, again, weak lows, pause lows, that's lack of continuation. Odds are we get them. Doesn't mean we have to. Look at today. Look at B's low. We never came close to it again. Look at this. Yeah, we might visit it at some point, but right now we're $5 higher. So you can't lean on those to get them. Now, if we took out this opening and started flushing, yeah, I would have expected that. And then let's go to the charts. Monthly, up. One time framing up 2 months. Inside month now, we had in October, we are now $16 above it. Pretty good, right? Remember the last inside month here in April with May, look what it did. Just chugged along to all-time highs. I'm not saying we're going to just continue to go higher, but these inside months, weeks, days are powerful. Weekly, one time framing up. This is week 6 so far. Now it's only Tuesday, so I continually say week 5, only 5 weeks until the week's over. But we are one time framing up 5 weeks, and week 6 so far took out the previous all-time high. And then the daily, we said today, well, if you take out the inside day to the downside, there's a good chance we go and get those levels I just gave you on the downside. But it's, you go with the trade and monitor it for continuation or lack of. Well, my goodness, there was lack of on today's downside. It stayed there for seconds. However, today's upside, inside upside day to the upside, held, and it's an outside day up. So, daily is up. Now, I can call it still balanced, but I'm going to give the bulls their due since it was an inside day up and an outside day up. Even though we didn't, we're not tremendously away from the previous high. We're away from it. So I'm going to give them their due and say up on the daily. Again, the only thing that has been negative is the volume. We'll see if we pick up some new money to push this and make it healthier as we go higher or not. Hope you had a great day trading. Have a great evening, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.